Yeah, I'm trying to get down to see Kevin Paddock, yeah. My mate Terry Haley's got a boat in Southampton, so I'm going to try and get down there and phone Kevin up to come down and meet us, but I haven't been able to get hold of him on the phone. So yesterday I phoned a friend of mine who was down in Southampton, and I ain't been able to get hold of him. Right? He just phoned me up about an hour ago and said that Kevin Paddock, as far as he knows, has been told that Kevin Paddock's got dementia, and which I hope he hasn't, because he's got some fantastic stories. And I really want the story when he fought Lenny and when he fought me, because when he fought Lenny, me, Jimmy Tibbet, and a few others was there watching, and he absolutely bashed Lenny up. Lenny come out, put his hands on top of Kevin Paddock's head straight away when the referee, when they got in the middle, mucking about with his head, and when the bell went, he rushed over Lenny to try and do the same thing, and Kevin Paddock must have hit him 20 times, mate. Knocked him all around the gaff, bashed him right up, yeah. And then I wanted to talk to him about me when I fought him, and it was a good fight, mate. I'm not quite sure it was 8 rounds or 10 rounds, me and Kevin had, but I'm telling you, we had a war in there, mate, and they was going mad in at the fight, yeah. When we was there, we was bashing each other to pieces, mate. And I want Kevin Paddock to tell the story about me and him when we fought. Me and Sid fought also. Me and Sid did fight at the Caswhisker Stratton. That is 100%. We fought at the Caswhisker Stratton for Eddie Richardson, yeah. And when I fought Sid, that was a good fight because Sid was a good heavyweight, mate. I'm going to say good heavyweight. Any pro heavyweight is a good fighter, mate. You know what I mean? Who has so many fights. And Kevin was a good pro, Sid was a good pro, and it's good to get in the ring with a good pro, even though I thought I was a professional fighter because I used to train with professional fighters, and you get Mickey Duff, and then people want to come down and sign you up as a professional fighter. That means you're good enough to be a pro, yeah. But when Clif Fields, what made it a bit dodgy is when Clif Fields, because you got to remember, right, that Shaka, this guy I'm talking about now, Shaka was on Frankie Warren's camp, right? Frankie Warren, he had Shaka as well as Lenny McLean, yeah. So when Shaka fought Clif Fields, right, wasn't a get up, it was proper, yeah. He fought Clif Fields, he beat Clif Fields on points, yeah. He beat Clif on points. So, good fight. I mean, you don't very often beat Clif Fields on points, mate. It's always a stoppage one way or the other, yeah. So that was a good fight. Then Shaka, this is the biggest joke of it all. Shaka fought Lenny McLean, and Lenny McLean beat him on points. And it was a get up, there's no way that Shaka, being a good pro as well, let Lenny McLean beat him on points, because Lenny McLean couldn't last 2 rounds, not 10 rounds. Do you know what I mean? It was a get up. It was a proper get up. Yeah. Anyway, he more or less carried him really around the ring. He carried him around the ring. So I was just saying about Frankie Warren. He was the worst person in the world, And the other day, I got someone. I mean, such a silly comment, They want to try and make you look silly, you know what I mean? So they're going, well, you reckon you Joe Pyle used to fight under car parks and all that, and you was talking about being in the dressing room and all that game. What dressing rooms they got? They ain't got dressing rooms under a car park, yeah? So, and they got another one that says it. Yeah, I got that as well. I got that. He's telling a load of lies. Well, no, I wasn't. I was telling the truth, because under the car park, you don't think that Joe Pyle thought about that, do you? You don't think Joe Pyle's going to go, well, we won't have no dressing room. We won't have nowhere they can change. They'll do it just on the car park or on the back of the car. Do you know what I mean? Joe Pyle's not an idiot, So what Joe DePaul done, he had porter cabins put down there, yeah? About 3 or 4 porter cabins. And yeah, so the geezers like, who said this, they don't know what they're talking about, you know what I mean? Yeah, and I mean, I used to fight down there too, so I know exactly what it's about, you know what I mean? So do you know what makes me laugh? These people that are talking ain't never been to a fight. They don't know what a fight is. All they do, right, is get hold of a book. Yeah, let's go. All they do, right, is get hold of a book like mine, like that, yeah. Look at it, read it, and that's it. There's things in my book, yeah, that may be fabricated about boxing, about unlicensed fights, mate. There might be. I don't know. I've not even read. I can't even read. I can't read, I'm just waiting for the audio book. Is it the audio when I talk? I mean, been talking now for about a week, bits and pieces in my book, yeah? And now we've got nearly to the end of it, and it's gonna come out like an audit, yeah? Like an audit, you just put it in your car, bump, and listen, put it in your ears, and you ain't got to read it. That's what I want to listen to. I can't read that book. Yeah? So that comes out. That should be out in the next couple of weeks. So that's fair play. Get that, mate. That is going to be so good. Honestly, it's so good. It's took me ages and ages and ages to read this, and I can't read. You can imagine, can't you? So anyway, yeah. So I'm just want to get down there and see Kevin Paddock. I really, really do. I mean, hopefully that he ain't got dementia as bad as what they say he has, and I'm telling you that Kevin Paddock could really march on. He could really march on, Kevin. I mean, and to think that he was sure beat him, I was surprised, you know what I mean? I don't think it was a get-up. I don't think Joe Powell would give Kevin Paddock a fold. I don't know, but I don't think so. Another fighter that you don't hear a lot about now. Someone told me that Lou Yates is dead. I don't believe that. I think it's a lot of crap. I think it's someone just putting out false information for someone like myself to get onto it, But I did hear that Lou Yates had died, but nah, Lou Yates is still alive. But the only thing with Lou Yates, he has told a few lies about Billy Hayward. Billy Blundell. He has told a few lies about Bill in the club, and he has told a few lies about Clif Fields. There's no way that Lou Yates would walk into a pub and say something to my mate and Clif Fields, and Clif Fields turn around and walk out with disgust. He wouldn't do that. If he went into a pub and run down Clif Fields, it don't matter how many people you are, Clif Fields will steam into you. 4 or 5 of you would steam into you, you know what I mean? Because Clif Fields used to work with me, you know what I mean? And we used to do a lot of enforcer work, so I know exactly what Clif Fields is about. Clif Fields would not turn his back on anybody, yeah? It doesn't matter who it is. It could be the best fighter in the world, mate. He wouldn't turn his back on him. You get a good hiding, He ain't like that. He's a person that would face his responsibilities. He'd face anything, and he did. Look what he faced, you know what I mean? Clif was a great fighter, even though he used to get cut very easy, yeah? When he fought Billy Head and Richard Dunn and people like that, used to cut very easy. Shame. He could have been a good British champion, British European champion, Clif Fields. Maybe he could have fought for the title. You don't know, you know what I mean? You don't know. But he was a good fighter, mate. I miss old Cliff. And I missed him after we had the fight with the travelling fella, with the travelling people in the pub. I was told it was outside in the park, but maybe it was outside in the park. Maybe they come back into the pub and then they started again, yeah? But I was told that they kicked a glass splinter. It went in Cliff's eye, and he had to have his eye out, yeah? And, mate, and it was what I just said. But there is I think, I'm not quite sure, there's people out there who would know, there's a fighter I think it's a heavyweight fighter. I'm not quite sure who is it now. That's got a glass eye. It's got a glass eye or dodgy eye. Let me know. I think it might be Fraser, Joe Fraser. I'm not quite sure. I know someone's got a dodgy eye and used to fight with a dodgy eye. But Cliff Fields, had to have his eye out, and it knocks him out, mate. And when Matt Legg put pictures of Cliff Fields in the calf, well, I was gutted that Matt Legg done that. You know what I mean? That knocked me out and knocked my pipe out a bit. I thought, well, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have put him like that, mate. It was a bit, to see Cliff Fields. It's like, it's like Hogan Higgins, isn't it? It's like Hogan Higgins, a snooker player, When you see him, what it was like, and you see him on the very last Hogan Higgins snooker match he had. The geezer he didn't look like anybody, did he? He didn't look like Hogan Higgins, but that's exactly the same as Cliff Field looked. He did look like that, and it gutted me, mate. When I see that, it made me feel sick. I wish Matt Legg hadn't put it up, But obviously, so some people just do that and don't really think it's anything can happen. But, some people were a bit gutted about it, and it was me. Because I remember Cliff Fields as a man, as a big, powerful man. I didn't really want to see him like that, I didn't want to see him. Anyway, but I did, and it happened, Anyway, bang, bang, mate, nice one.